all who come, welcome. Disney is the time machine that takes us back, connects us together, and shows us that not even wishing upon a star ever gets old. Now come sit with your friends, Jonell, Shawn, and Megan, as we deep dive into the heart of Disney.
Twist that smile upside down. We're gonna twist that smile. Frown. Frown right now.
It's still... It just gets funnier every time.
Welcome to Friends of Disney. We're friends who
Hi,
talk about
friends.
Disney. I'm Megan. That's Shawn.
I'm
That's Jonell.
Jonell, the laughing stock. Moo.
If you're wondering why the weird intro, it's because Jonell does not like the Turn That Frown Upside Down song from Teen Beach 2.
I'm also not the biggest fan of this movie either.
You're entitled to your wrong opinion.
I'm sorry, I preferred the original Teen Beach. This one was a bit of a bore.
Okay, tell me more, since you're opening up the floodgates on that conversation. I have a very different opinion than you.
Oh my gosh, but I can only hear, tell me more, tell me more. Did you get very far? Tell me more, tell me more. Does he have a car?
Wrong musical.
I know.
I mean, relationship problems. Again. And the characters come to reality, what we saw in the Barbie movie.
Hey.
Even though Barbie came after this. But anyways, it was a bit boring for me.
See, to me, it's a perfect, if you think of a call and response, I think it's the perfect response to what the first movie was. The first movie focused in on Mac. She's supposed to go to this prep school. They go into this movie and they learn their life lessons that way. Now they're both at school. Two different personalities, and then it's rather than them going into the movie comes to them. And it kind of answers...
But they are also learning their own personalities, which that in alone of the movie characters coming into reality, we could go on extremes here and theoretically impose the robots are...
Robots?
Hear me out, it's a full circle thing, but... Okay, so in the movie characters are obviously learning that they are their own individuals, like the mannequin in Wizards of Waverly Place. The movie characters are realizing they're much more than just the movie characters in their movie. And so they grow this sense of self-development. There's been a lot of talk about robots potentially building their own sense of self. So that's where the full circle came in.
See, what I like about it is that if this movie didn't exist, a lot of people would be like, they just went into the world of a movie. Obviously they have the memories of them being in the movie. What's the converse? We actually see Mack and Brady went into this movie, and now we see the effects of that on their end. We know how it's affected them, obviously, Mack and Brady, but now it's how is the movie affected, or after them going and interacting with these characters,
I just didn't think there was much that really needed to be rehashed. I think the first one was a perfect movie on its own.
First one was perfect.
I just don't think the second one was needed.
Do you have any thoughts, honey?
I mean, here's the thing. I was not a big fan of this movie when it came back in the day. I was like, I don't really care about Lela. As an adult, I very much care about Lela. But as a child, I was like, I don't care. And I thought, my honest opinions, where I was like, okay, Mack and Brady are cute during the summer, and then I saw what Mack was like at school, and I was like, oh my gosh, she is overwhelming. And then I saw Brady, who I was like, oh my gosh, he's underwhelming. And then I was like, they're gonna break up. Like, if it's not now, it's gonna be later, because I just didn't see it happening. And so when, like, Tanner comes back at, like, the end, like, near the ending of the movie, being like, I'm gonna save your relationship, I'm like, wait, bro, you don't get it. They're gonna break up. Is it, like, it's going to happen. It's okay.
So this is the funny part. I didn't like Lela in the first movie, and I didn't like Mack in the second.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like what was hard about Mack in the second movie, realistically, was that it was a very, very different personality than we saw.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she had her little bit of high-strungness in this first movie, but it was more so about, like...
I feel like it was, like, about survival, right? Like, oh
Well,
my
yeah, 'cause
gosh,
they
we're
were, like,
disappearing.
Yeah, they were, like, disappearing, so it was more...
But she was very... But also, like, outside of, like, being in the movie and stuff, it was also, like, very... Oh, I have to go to this prep school. Like, I don't get to make that choice, blah, blah, blah. And so, seeing, like, how very high-strung and school-oriented she is versus how laid-back Brady is, which is very consistent. That is nothing new. Like, I don't blame Brady for his reactions at all, because that's a very different personality than he experienced over the summer.
Mm-hmm.
They should have just broke up and called it a day.
I think so.
I disagree with this. Oh my gosh. Here's the thing. Let me take my turn on this before both of you come after me. So, this movie did what all Disney sequels do. The second movie of all Disney movies. They always bring in the relationship conflict. It happened in Descendants. It happened in High School Musical 2. Happened in Zombies 2. And now Teen Beach 2. It happens always in the second movie. But I think they did this one really well. Because if you look at all the others, the fights are legitimately stupid. Mal's fight with Ben in the second movie was Mal being like, it's too much pressure. I'm going to use magic and lie. High School Musical 2. Oh, this diva is giving me giving me an in with college folks. That's good for my future. And in turn, I'm treating my friends like a...
They just needed to break up, though. Like, we didn't need a second movie to know they were going to break up.
Here's the thing. They did break up.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fact. They did break up. But the thing is, it's still addressed. Like, you experience in your life all the time, Jonell, this same dynamic in relationships. You are a Mac. You're ambitious. You are very work heavy. But at the same time, you want a Brady. Someone who is more laid back and will step back.
In a way, I have that.
Uh-huh.
They just want to do their work, come home, and then be themselves when they get home. Which, I mean, too, they just don't want career success.
Mm-hmm.
Which is different for me, because I do want career success, but
yes.
I still want my 9 to 5. Don't get me wrong. I want my 9 to 5, go to the office, and then when I come home, it's all me.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? In 2 weeks, I'm going to have that.
But, like, you see what I mean? Like, I don't know why you guys were so convinced on them breaking up. Because here's the thing. They did break up. But they still ended up learning. They learned an actual life lesson. Their fight was a legit fight because you don't... Like, if you see a different side of someone you may not work well with. How do you navigate that? Sometimes it is a breakup. Sometimes it isn't, and you learn. Me and Megan are very different people.
Mm-hmm. We are. People might not believe it, but we are.
And the fact that they actually highlighted very strongly.
Mac was also just a bit of a bored, depressing man. This movie. Because he's trying to keep, like, his surfboard inventions behind Layla's back. And
Mac's back?
yeah. Thank
Remember,
you.
it's Mack and Brady, Lela and Tanner.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Oh my god. I'm pretty sure now. So, anyone who's listening, I'm pretty sure I have just effed up names. This tells you how much of the pretty girl from the human world with the pretty boy from the human world, pretty boy from human world, building surfboards, cool, inventive surfboards, is a depressing man, and human girl is an ambitious woman who wants to continue her education, and movie girl is like, I want the same thing of self-learning.
Self-actualization.
Yes. And I just didn't care for it that much, I guess. Also, I didn't like seeing human boy being depressed.
That makes me angry. I'm sorry, that makes me angry.
You don't like...
I love that they did. I love that they showed his heartbreak. Because once again, that does not get shown
in Disney movies
almost
often.
ever. And I'm happy they actually showed a guy with genuine emotions, with actually experiencing
Maybe the
heartbreak.
reason why I didn't like it is just because I've been going through a massive depression spell right now, and I'm just like,
Fair.
it's like one of those things where, you know, Easy A could have said it better than not, you know, like that classic scenario where the perfect assignment comes along with the perfect life situation and they come together, you know. Jonell's depressed. Here comes a movie where this other person will also be depressed. And then blah, da, blah, da, blah. You're supposed to learn a life lesson. Did I learn anything from my depression other than, no, I have to actually sit in my depression and have self-actualization around it to grow. But it's just so hard to watch it because I'm like, man.
No, I kind of get it. When I'm in my big feelings about, like, specific topics, I don't want to be sitting through that.
It's boring. It, like, not only do you not have energy, but they don't have energy.
Oh my gosh, shut. Like,
It's like, it's such a funny phenomena.
oh my gosh. No, I kind of get that. Where it's like, I don't have the, like, emotional energy to watch you not have emotional energy. Like, I'm here for escapism. Why are you so depressed?
Yeah, that's the exact feeling.
But, okay, hear me out. You're not gonna like me. I don't like that Brady was depressed. Hold on. It's because he's like the golden retriever boyfriend stereotype.
He is a golden retriever.
And it makes because I'm also the golden retriever, like,
And she's the otter.
the significant other stereotype. And it just makes me sad. But I understand that it's important for him to be sad for, like, the representation in, like, males. To be like, it's okay to be sad and to be depressed and to, like, really be grieving a relationship with someone that Mac, I don't know how she feels about Brady most of the time, but Brady really, really, really likes Mac. And I think she could be good for him, but I feel like he could be good for her. I just don't think
Right now is the time.
I don't think Mac is in the mindset to be in a relationship, as Brady is in the mindset to be in a relationship. I feel usually it's the other way around, where the guy is like, I'm not ready yet. But, like, Mac in this movie is very much like, I'm going to do my own thing, follow along with me. This is, like, what I'm planning. Come with me and do the thing. When Brady, like, I could tell from the first movie, like, academics was just not on his forefront. He had, like, this engineering thing going on in the second one. Like, he's really smart in his own way, but he doesn't have to go to, like, Stanford to do that. And I feel like in Mac's brain, because it was the same thing with a lot of people around me growing up, where it's like second education past high school is like the way to go, and you need to do that to be successful. And like Brady was like, I'm not interested in that, and Mac's like, okay, but I'm going, and you're going to come with me.
I think that's part of like what led to like, well, that was what led to like Brady's actions throughout the movie. Like, he didn't tell her about the surfboards and stuff, even though like he was doing it fully keeping her in mind. Like that one that could surf with when there is no surf.
Mm-hmm.
He did that fully thinking of her and him's time together, because if there's surfing is there one thing they bond is like the first thing they bonded over.
Mm-hmm.
Megan, you gave the perfect example of the freshman breakup.
It's true.
That is why college freshmen break up.
Oftentimes with their high school significant others, yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
Sorry, I just thought that was
No.
too good.
it
Thank
is
you.
good, and it is an important highlight, but it kind of highlights like a big point of the movie of like, neither of you is in the wrong.
It's okay to be on different paths.
Yes.
And even though they still technically ended up together in the end, which I do love how they did that, in my own opinion, like, because the song they did at the dance, I Gotta Be Me, literally is them basically almost duking it out, like, having the traditional fight. Like, they had the fight and they decided to separate, but then they were forced together to spend a time around each other because of Lela and Tanner. And then when it came to the school dance, it's like the actual relationship fight actually happened through song. And they're like, well, I got my stuff I want to do. Well, I got stuff I got to do. But they still end up coming together and respect each other for it at the end, which is a huge part of relationship growth and conflict.
You see,
Gosh, how I wish my relationships ended.
I think I would have respected the movie more if they weren't forced back together at the end.
They weren't.
I mean, I feel like, well, like at the beginning of the movie, we hear how they first met, how he was watching the movie, and then he was like, if you don't like it, I'll buy you a mango smoothie. She's like, oh, I like mangoes. And like the exact same scenario plays out at like the end after like,
But in reversed.
but in reversed. And I was like, okay, that can be cute, but I feel like the development that they made, which I know got erased, and I know that's sad, would have been even better if, like, after that, like, fight, they were like, I get that we're, like, on two different tracks, but I think right now, maybe being friends is just, like, the best case scenario right now. Well, we're figuring out this school year, because this is not even, like, 2 weeks in. This is, like, 8 weeks into the school year. Y'all, like, they can like have time to figure out like how they're footing in school before they're like, okay, let's like go back into a relationship.
I hate to say it, but this is how me and my boyfriend kind of got together. Because it was, no, I don't want to be in a relationship because I want to know what freedom is like. And then they're like, same. And then it was like, okay, well, then I have to get through all this education. And it was just like, well, I live with you because we're roommates and it's COVID. But, you know, I'm not ready to settle down. And then it became well, we've been living together for 4+ years now. You're wrapping up school. And, you know, your focus is now more on family. And my focus is more on just stability and being with the person I'm around. Because he's like, I've gotten to be comfortable around you. And then it turned into I thought we were in a relationship. And I was like, oh shit, we are. When did that get officialized?
See, my thing with the ending of the movie is that I see it as Megan has said many times to me that the one thing she hates about Avengers Endgame is how all the heroes came back.
Well, like most of them, yeah.
Like the snap happened, all those heroes disappeared, and then in Endgame they just came back. and she hates that part about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I like that in this movie because how I read the ending, they did forget who they were, obviously. Forgot that they met, all those things. But I also look at what Mac said to Lela. You can go back and you can change it how you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Make things better for yourself, but you have to be in the movie. Otherwise you're going to disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Lela did that. The movie is a different movie now. It's Lela, Queen of the Beach. But you can also tell that Mac is a very different person than the beginning of the movie. Because when she's talking about the school dance, Brady says exactly to her, 1960s West Side Story. And she's like, we're like the only two that actually know it and stuff. But here it's completely flipped because that's exactly what she does.
Mm-hmm.
It's not this save the ocean, all blue, very high school prom-esque, like cheesy 80s high school prom-esque gymnasium. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's this really cool drive-in theater with this cool movie.
I will say I did like the drive-in theater.
But my thought behind all is that basically everything they just went through got preserved in a way that was reset. The movie was gone. The original movie was gone. But Lela went back and was able to change it. And thus the two characters basically got reset, but with the growth in the changed movie to where they are in a healthier place overall, is how I read it. Now, is that possibly dumb? Yes. Is that stupid movie magic? Yes. But I do like the fact that they were still able to come together, but you can tell that they've changed even with all the experience and forgetting.
Yes.
I have a controversial take. I don't like the last song of the movie.
I don't see why.
Okay, I like the song. I don't like how it plays out in the movie, if that makes sense. Like, basically the whole idea is they have, like, that, like, we're all gonna go together, watch a movie, and, like, raise money for the otters or whatever.
Ocean.
For the ocean. Save the ocean. And, like, that idea is cool. And so, then, like, they start the movie, and then everyone, like, starts, like, Mac decides to stand on a bunch of trucks and starts dancing to the movie. And I don't know about you or you, but my social anxiety would be like, what the huh?
This was also around the time of, like, Footloose and Miley Cyrus's Party in the USA, though. So dancing on truck beds was really the thing.
I mean, yeah, but, like, I'm just imagining as a high school student going to that movie and being like, why is everyone dancing? Why are they literally dancing from the movie screen? Why? How the hell did this main character get a jacket? And I know, like, that's part of movie magic, but, like, literally, like, this is, like, how does everyone know the moves? Why are you wasting all the popcorn? Like, what is happening?
Yes, Shawn.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. I raise you Wicked. Think about what occurred when Wicked released last year. Everyone was learning dance. You saw videos of people in theater singing and dancing to the song.
Let's talk about the
endlessly.
Minecraft movie if we're gonna go there.
Chicken Jockey.
Chicken Jockey!
Like, I understand why you would think about this, your social anxiety, but I also think, like, if this is that big of a cult classic, like, we've all seen the memes about Disney movies. Hell, we are those people. Where you belt out, sing along, because you love the song and the movie that much.
Okay,
I will say I really did not like any of the music in Teen Beach Movie 2.
I would argue it's a little bit better than the first
It
movie.
sucks.
I strongly disagree.
It depends on the song for me, I think. Yeah.
I literally know the dance to the last song.
I also just don't like the Teen Beach Movie soundtracks.
That's really interesting to me. For someone who loves old movies, I love that you don't like the old movie vibe soundtracks. Like, they encompass that
I
vibe
love
so
the
very well.
story. I just not a fan of the music. The storytelling old movies have is so much more theatrical and thought out story wise, and because of what technology they had then, they had to be a lot more innovative to create those type of scenes. And so I can just appreciate the script more. It doesn't mean I like the songs or anything in the movie or the time. I just
what about the songs do you not like? Like, you don't like either soundtrack, correct?
Yeah.
Why?
It's just not my vibe.
That's fair.
To be fair, you are very much someone that likes songs that can also be easily done into like very club remixes. You like a lot of that type of music.
Yes, I do.
I feel like Shawn has more diverse taste in music. This is nothing on you, but because he's a music buff, he just is like, I will listen to pretty much anything. The only music we don't listen to at home is heavy metal. Because we have a baby.
Well,
Megan,
never
you just
mind.
learned something new.
Never mind. I just learned that my husband listens to heavy metal. Okay, cool.
not a lot of heavy metal. There are some songs I like.
I don't know. My music is mainly just EDM and Oregon vibes now at this point.
Yeah, and then you have me that will range from concert band music to to children's music to 80s rock, 70s disco.
Hebrew.
Us with Hebrew. Like I have a range.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't have much of a range. And music now has like gotten to a point where I don't want to listen to lyrics unless the song is meaningful to me. And so like some of the songs, it's normally like a memory from something in the past, or it's like Post Malone where the artist is truly speaking out their truth through lyric. And like so many times with Post Malone's music or Demi Lovato's or Selena Gomez's, I just like sit there and I'm just like, man, like it's the energy you need when you're depressed. That's just like, they're sad, but they put all their energy of sadness into this, and I can put all of my energy of sadness into this.
I remember one thing I remember seeing when I was in high school was like, it was like when you're happy
And you know it, clap your hands.
No. If you're happy, like, you enjoy the music. But when you're sad, you understand it. Because then you actually hear the lyrics. And you realize what they mean.
Yeah, a lot of songs I spend more time... Like, all of Post Malone's songs, I could sing every single song word for word. Like, this is... Like, it got to the point where I started studying his songs. Like, I would just write down all of the lyrics and just start studying them, because I'm just like, man, this man understands depression and sadness. Like, he truly understands. And then when he presents himself, yeah, he sings about, like, his shitty life. And he'll tell you this at his concert, too. He's like, all right, like, we're getting together where I'm going to sing a bunch of shitty songs. But you know what? I'm accomplishing my dream. And that's what I appreciate about him, is the person who he speaks out to himself is who he is. And his music is still him. He's recognizing his past.
So I have a question for you I want to raise. And you can also add, of course, add to this, Megan, and stuff. When we look at Disney movies, like whether they're like theatrical releases or DCOMs, there's obviously a certain vibe that has to be stuck with their type of music and stuff, because it's Disney and stuff. And they can't necessarily go into the same kind of depth that singers like Post Malone and stuff can.
I raise you the next right thing.
I hear you.
Well, and then there's
like,
Olivia Rodrigo, but, you know.
But, like, looking on a broad perspective versus, like, a one-off case, like, where do you find your enjoyment in that realm? Like,
In Disney songs?
Yes, because...
So Disney songs, this is where it falls into the realm of a memory. So when it comes to me singing a Disney song, it often is like a memory of watching the movie with my friends as a child, you know, like Hakuna Matata. You know, that's the thing where me and my friends would sit in the living room and we'd watch The Lion King, or right before we went to bed, we decided to watch The Lion King, you know, and I just remember that I never felt alone, and that joyful feeling I had during that time just relives in me in that moment, and it leads me to singing out the song because I'm just in memory lane. I am quite...
It's all for nostalgia.
Yeah.
It's all nostalgia.
My internal mind is just sadness, fear, and nostalgia, apparently. But...
I think... Okay, when I'm enjoying Disney songs, I feel like there's a few different layers on it. Like, I don't know how much I've divulged about this on the podcast, but like starting in like middle school, I wasn't really allowed to like touch pop culture, and my parents were very particular individuals, and I didn't feel comfortable exploring like interests around them. And so Disney was the safe option because I already knew, because as a child I liked it and they didn't shame it most of the time, that I could listen to Disney music and they wouldn't bat an eye or say anything about it. So for a long time, that's all I listened to, was either that or songs my parents pre-approved of. And so when I would be sitting in the basement doing homework for hours, I would listen to Disney music because it was like the one safe music. And it was like the comfort food, if you will. I don't eat comfort food, but I listen or watch comfort things. And so Disney just became that. It was like the safe place, because if I went home to watch a movie, I knew if I could put on a Disney movie, no one would bat an eye. If I put on some Disney songs, no one would bat an eye about it. They're like, oh, Megan already likes Disney. It's not something any new or different. Like, my sister had a huge K-pop phase, and every single time my sister played it, my parents would be like, why are you listening to this? You don't even know Korean. You're not even Korean. It should not interest you. Like, stuff like that, which, like, that's their opinions, I guess, but music speaks to different people in ways that you don't expect, right? Like, I don't know how you came across Post Malone, but I bet there was at least one time you're like, is this song really going to speak to me? And you're like, oh, never mind. Like, yep, it spoke to the depths of my soul, and I should not have questioned it.
It is honestly kind of a funny story. But, you know, when you're at the lowest point of your life and, you know, you're doing the lowest point of your life things, and that person also tends to talk about the lowest point of their life, and it just hits at the right same point of time. This is when I was in the deepest of my addiction, and I lived with my roommates that were the group of girls, and they introduced me, well, I knew of Post Malone already at this point, and I liked his music, but, you know, I didn't, like, I listened to his music with my friends in high school, so it was just kind of, like, more of a, like, yeah, I can appreciate it, it's a good vibe, you know. But then, once it came to that point, and Hollywood is Bleeding came out, we listened, we smoked so much weed. We were blazing. Besides that point, when you are on those substances, you are very hyper aware of, I would say, more of the internal feeling of inside your body and your own senses and your own experiences. So I just couldn't move or anything, and I just started really listening in on the lyrics, and we listened to the entire album of Hollywood is Bleeding. And as we got from the very beginning to the very end, this was about right after the time I had finally started dealing with my shit from my ex, and Post Malone is singing about his ex-girlfriend who fucked him over, you know, ruined his life. And here I am with my ex who had ruined my life and my core beliefs, and I didn't know what to do with myself. And here's a person who's like, I don't know what the hell to do with myself either, but you know what? I'm doing something.
I think that's beautiful. There's a saying in the K-pop fandom where it's like the music will find you when you are ready to hear it. And I think that's true for Post Malone too. I think that's true for things that really bring comfort. Yeah.
I was actually going to go though on the agreeance of watching Disney for comfort, because I will say I normally just watch Disney at home to just play it in the background because it makes me feel safe.
Yeah.
See, it's interesting because I think back to when we watched Wish. Good old Wish, because that's kind of what sparked this whole podcast to begin with. And I remember that me and you were basically in tears because of how that movie made us feel in the music, especially that last song where they were rolling through the credits and they had all the sparkly outlines of all the Disney characters, and we were like, oh, it's that one. Oh, it's that one.
See, now a song doesn't have to be sad for me to feel touched.
Yeah.
I spend more time when I listen to a song, I spend more time listening to the actual words than I do of the actual beat. And then by the time I have the lyrics memorized, it then goes into actually paying attention to the rhythms of things. And then it's so funny because if I drive by myself in the car, whoever's driving by me is going to have a theatrical laugh. Because you see me in the car and I'm like, the drums right here, the guitar right here, and la, you know?
I can see it.
It's a lights, camera, action. And then I'm still analyzing too. And I'm like, oh, there's a little trill. Shh, you know?
Yeah. See, yeah. For someone with such diverse, very diverse music tastes, like...
You're just like, what are you appreciating on?
It's interesting because different music makes me feel happy for different reasons. Like today, I spent a lot of time listening to my concert band playlist, which has a lot of classical music and stuff on it. Some of the stuff is like classic bangers that you probably heard on Little Einstein. Other stuff was stuff that I played Other stuff is stuff that I actually played in like concert band in high school or marching band and stuff like that. But then if you were to ask me a week ago, I was listening to K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yes.
And then like there's other times where I'm listening to like my Disney movie sound, like my Disney playlist, which has a lot of Disney songs. And so like,
yeah,
it kind of just whatever fits a vibe for me. Like sometimes it is sad songs. I'll listen. Like there are some sad songs. Like the one that comes to mind for me, and this is for a really dark time, is "Goodbye" by Avril Lavigne. I rarely touch that song anymore. High school me, listen to it a little bit more, but oftentimes it's just like, yeah, I don't mind going hi ho, it's off to work week, because it's a fun song and I love it.
Yeah, I think this also just kind of goes into with what I do for work on my day-to-day basis, because also I'm an accountant on my day-to-day work. So when I listen to music the whole entire time while I'm working, because if not, I'm going to go crazy. And in the office, I have apparently been just having massive panic attacks because I have not been bringing headphones to help disassociate a little bit. But often when I'm in the office, all of the music I am listening to is EDM, where there is no words, or there is like one sentence and there is just a million different beats going on, because working is also the most chaotic thing. And I'm just like, the music organizes the chaos while I am going through it. Zoom to the math over here and zoom to the math over here.
No, I kind of get that. When my kids are having like a chaotic day, I try so hard not to have music with words on it, because otherwise I confuse like kids talking with like the lyrics. So I try really hard to just have like upbeat instrumental music. Sometimes EDM is in there. But like, no, I get that. It's like it's going through the chaos.
Just play the SpongeBob Jellyfish Rave song. They'll go nuts.
My favorite thing was at work when I had a patient that had dementia, and I would take her on walks around the floor. She was here for months, but I was the only one that would do this, and I do this with a number of patients where I will take out my phone and I'll play music while we're walking, and she actually would like start dancing and stuff. Because my first go-to would be the YMCA, because everyone knows the YMCA, and she would be going down.
Young men.
She'd be going down in her walker, and you see her, she does like
young men.
And then we'd go to like Eye of the Tiger or the Rocky theme.
Duh.
As she's like an 80-year-old woman walking with a walker, down the hall. You just see the nurses like peek their head around from the nursing station, like, what the hell are you doing?
Oh my gosh.
Giving them a little pizzazz for the day. But, you know, like, I think about this all the time, and for the longest time in life, I have not been, like, actually journaling down my thoughts and feelings and what things are going on, because I don't want anyone to know what is going on with my actual life, what I am actually feeling. And so I kept it bottled up, and I didn't write it down. I didn't talk to anyone about it. Literally, the first year of college, is whenever you guys did the intervention with me to go to therapy, I think it was an intervention. I just remember it became a discussion, and then you guys walked me there because I was like, I need help going to therapy.
I think we did walk you there.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I remember, I got walked to therapy too. Like, here's the therapy center. This is what you do. Go.
Yeah. And that was kind of like the first realization of, like, it's not okay to hold these feelings in. And now that I've finally learned, like, coping mechanisms to kind of help with things, and then knowing the chaos that happens in my life, I just feel like life just continuously likes to shit on me. This is not a kid-friendly podcast, by the way. I shall remind you. But it's just kind of funny because, you know, we're just going through life, and for once, you know, all of us, I would say, as friends, we've all reached a point now where we're starting to learn how to actually become real adults, to become the people that we want to be in our future. And it just kind of sucks right now because at the moment I've been in that depressed stage.
Yeah.
And, you know, depressed me is not very fun. We know that, but
I get it. In pain knee is not very fun either.
I resonate with that one right now.
Huh?
I resonate with that a little
Yeah.
bit right now.
Yeah, Shawn has an ear infection, and I have chronic back pain.
At the
I
time
just
of
have really
recording
bad
this.
depression.
Especially, like, I think hearing you talk about, like, depression and all those things, like, I think it really highlights why I like, the best way I can describe it is cling to my childhood so much. Because I think of a Walt Disney quote, and I live by this quote, basically, of, like, growing old is mandatory, but growing up is an option. Because realistically speaking, most of our life is a childhood right now. We've barely been adults. We're 7-year-olds as adults.
What sucks is, like, and I think about this so often, and this is, like, what's really been leading my depression, is just, like, I have spent my entire childhood growing up to take care of myself.
Yep.
Take care of my emotional well-being, take care of my physical safety, take care of the threats around me, to make sure I felt safe at night. And I didn't tell anyone anything because I didn't trust them. And I never learned how to actually build solid relationships. So now here I am in my mid-20s, frustrated as hell because, like, I see people who are actually, and this is why, like, I got really kind of jealous for Whitworth for a while is because, you know, a lot of students there have daddy's money.
Yep.
But
yeah, we've had this conversation a lot.
you know, they gotta grow up and be kids, you know.
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating when you know you're that person who had to struggle. And I think that's like where I'm personally having like one of the hardest spots is like when I go to therapy, and I should have I had a therapy session today, so you know this is why we're here. But I should have brought this up with her, is just like how I keep having these thoughts of just like, this is my time to kind of be the kid.
Yep.
Except it looks different.
Yep.
And in ways, I'm embarrassed about it. The fact that this is me now exploring my childhood that I never got to experience as a child. And the fact that I have literally been freaking the fuck out 24/7 because I do not know how to handle my emotions.
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you, I've been having that too. I mean, I had it a lot in college, but especially when I moved out, and especially working with kids, like the parents who every day drop their kid at the door. It's like, I love you. I'll come back and see you. Like the doting parent, the one who messages like, how's my child's day going? And I send them pictures and they're like, oh my gosh. The parents who go to conferences who like gush about their kid, wants to be like really into it. And the ones that I'm like, I look at them and I'm like, oh, they're very secure. They're having like a childhood experience and like no one's shaming them for that.
And what's annoying is like in education, they will teach you in schools of like, oh, 1 in 5 children in this school, you know, have like a really shitty housing situation, or like 1 in 6 women are going to be sexually abused. And then, you know, you always think that you're going to never be that person. And here we are in our 20s realizing
we were that person.
And that's the hardest part to come to realization with. Shawn, please wrap us up.
I'm gonna twist this frown upside down for a minute.
Can we talk about Lela and Tanner?
I mean, we don't have a lot of time to.
Okay, but like I just want to say that I would totally date Lela.
100%. She gives strong lesbian vibes in this,
So
in this
strong.
movie. Very strong.
So
lesbian vibes.
strong
Yeah,
lesbian
she does.
vibes. And I'm like, damn, I feel bad for Tanner. Also, I love Tanner. Here's the
Tanner's a
thing.
Ken.
He's such a Ken.
He's a Ken, but he's a Ken with a heart.
He's a Ken with a
Enough.
heart. He's enough. But the thing I love about Tanner is Tanner's such a... There's like 5 brain cells in Tanner's head. And 2 of them are like, how do I
Squirrel.
smile? And then the rest of them are just like, oh,
Squirrel.
pretty. But he lives with Brady for a while. And Brady is like, I feel like he's the type of person to like really sit with his feelings. And since he's going through this depression stage, to like really just be. And that rubs off on Tanner. And Tanner learns how to like look at the world around him and like question things. And to like really think deeply like Brady does. And I think it's really beautiful. And by the end of the movie, I mean, Tanner thought about outside of himself before in the first movie, but he's come to like this like empathetic person who is still dumb as rocks, but like dumb as rocks with the most heart of gold, kind of like Jason Mendoza minus the dangerous part.
Yeah.
Hey.
What? Yeah, he's literally hey. Just human
But
hey.
I think that's the thing I appreciate about the movie, though, is just the male characters actually care. They have, like, a more rounded personality that has empathy and compassion. And, like, Tanner says to Brady, I'm worried about Lela. Is she okay? What's going through all this? How do I support her through this? Never once do either of them say, what Mack is doing is bad. What Layla's doing is bad. But honestly, neither of those 2 female leads are reciprocating that to the male characters, which is a nice change of view.
You just reminded me. Okay, this is a thought I literally had all last month. Is fights are just misunderstanding from a point of view.
Mostly.
Because you are often thinking in your own point of view and not trying to think in the other person's shoes. Now, saying that, you know, step into the other person's shoes is a lot easier said than done. And
it's demonstrated really well in Freaky Friday.
yeah, it is. But like when you're trying to actually sit there and understand your partner, sometimes it gets really hard because you're like, we live in the same house. Literally, we eat the same meals. Like, we go to work at the same time. We get up together. We both go to bed together. Like, what the hell do you mean you're having problems?
Mm-hmm.
This is something I am actively teaching my kids. And listen, taking someone's Play-Doh and then also having, like, problems as an adult, two completely different things. But it's really important to me to be like, okay, why did you take this person's Play-Doh? And they're being like, well, I wanted to turn. It's like, but your friend was literally holding it in their hands. And you took it out. You don't like when people take it out of your hands. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, so why did you take it out of your friend's? And I'm like, how would you feel if she did that to you? How would you do if he did that to you? I'd be angry. Oh, that must be what your friend is feeling.
Teaching empathy is hard.
It's the hardest part of my job. And listen, it's the hardest part of my day. But one of my kids told another friend today, how would you feel if I did that to you?
Just don't have so much empathy
That it hurts you.
Yeah, because I am at that point now where I have too much empathy for other people, and I now have to learn how to set boundaries and feel comfortable in my own, like, I have to say no to people.
And that's hard too.
Saying no sucks.
Yeah, and I have to say no to my kids all the time. And
But
Because you care and you want to be a caring person, and like it makes your heart feel good. But in that moment, but then when you come to the realization of afterwards, you feel like shit. Sometimes.
I tell myself when I say no that it's either what's best for me or it's what's best for the kid. Like, I have a kid who wants to be held 24/7, and I say no. And that's half because my back will hurt, and it already hurts. And it's also because that child needs to learn that, like,
It's not acceptable to be in everyone's lap.
yes, and, like, that's really important. And it's important to go play. It's important to not, like, be constantly, like, glued to an adult. And I think about this in my adult relationships, too. Like, sometimes it's okay to say, no, I have a friend right now, and I know she doesn't listen to this podcast, I'm going to shade her, who is constantly texting me about how her day is going. And I love her to death. And she calls me. And there are days where I'm like, I'm not even going to pay attention to you. Not because I don't love her to death, but because I'm like, I can't. I literally can't put up with you and, like, deal with the baby. Or deal with my own emotions on top of, like, Shawn's.
But
Yeah.
anyways, I'm gonna wrap us up.
Me and Megan could go on a tangent
Oh, yeah.
about
we
Boundaries and emotions
it's
and stuff.
like that moment in the Loki TV show, like the branch timeline's approaching the red line. Right-
stop, stop, beep.
Check out our episode next week. Like, subscribe, all the good things.
If you didn't watch Teen Beach Movie 1, go watch it.
I was
Yeah.
not in that episode. I am sorry. Again,
Yeah.
chronic back pain is
That one was not as
B.
depressing.
Not even a little. Bye, friends.
Bye.
Bye.